What is up, guys? It's the Doughboys back for episode 2 of Cohen Doughs. This episode, another classic. We're banging out the classics. Last time we did Tim's. Now we're doing Mickey D's. So on the menu tonight, we got iced coffee. It's the summer, so we got those dollar iced coffees, and we got some of their little donuts to try out. Unfortunately, COVID-19, we're obeying the regulations, so we couldn't be inside the restaurant to enjoy these tasty treats and delicious coffees. But we're out here on the old stomping grounds. You can see Halifax West High School. Good little throwback at the night. We got some good scenery to enjoy these Cohen Doughs. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So I got for my iced coffee just the black standard McDonald's iced coffee. So we're going to break the seal. Oh yeah, tight. Still iced. It's been probably like 15, 20 minutes, something like that. Still got the ice in there. Gonna go in for a sip.
Another one.
Hitting the double. Hitting the
Triple.
Very good. Actually, really good. Honestly, McDonald's has great coffee.
From time to time.
I think on average, better than Tim's.
We'll see about that, Joshua. I haven't had my taste test yet.
Really good. For being iced coffee late at night, sometimes you're going to get a bad cup of coffee that's been sitting in that little fridge all day. But this is actually pretty good. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 coffee cups. Solid. Very solid. All right, so let's check in with Neil for his iced coffee review.
All right. Well, now it's my turn. Let's get in it.
Break the seal.
Yeah.
Going for the double.
Check this out.
Going for the triple.
Look at that. All that jazz I got in there.
That was probably a good
Yeah.
sixth.
I got a good gulp in there. Let's compare. Okay, it's like the same.
Neil's probably a little more. All right, Neil, let's hear your thoughts, man.
Well, you gotta take into account that this has been here for, like Josh said, 15, 20 minutes. So you gotta factor in the dilution factor, yeah? Dilution factor. Around with that, right? With iced coffees, you always gotta take that into account, especially on a hot summer day or, kind of chilly summer night. But overall, it's still pretty sweet. It's got a good, rich flavor. And overall, I'm pretty impressed, Like,
How's the sweetness level? The cream? Too much cream? Too little cream? Too much sugar? Too little sugar?
to be honest, I forgot I could get these black, and I didn't want to speak up when you were in the drive-thru. But overall, it's got a good amount of sweetness, right? With a little bit of dilution. Usually, it might be a bit too sweet for me, but right now it's perfect. It's ideal.
Nice.
So, I think I'm gonna agree with Joshua on this one and say 4 out of 5 coffee cups.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, pretty solid. Starting off strong McDonald's, but the real test is still to come.
Nice. All right. So for the donuts, I won't disclose everything we got. I will just start off with my first donut. Yes, I said first. We might got more than one on the way tonight for each of us. All right, so the first donut I'm gonna go for is their classic pink sprinkled donut. That money shot. There's a little donut, so they're pretty small. One probably wasn't gonna be enough for us doughboys out here to satisfy our donut cravings. This is the classic Homer Simpson kind of donut. So we're gonna go in for a bite. Please note, sprinkle just fell off. All right, I'm gonna go in for the bite. First impressions? I'm pretty disappointed. Not a good donut. Not bad though. Nothing to write home about. There's like barely any icing. You see?
What about the nighttime factor, Joshua? Do you think this
True.
might be a result of it not being very fresh?
Yeah, Neil brings up a very good point. It's not fresh. It's late at night. So that, with that being considered, it's decent.
But didn't we go to Tim's late at night too?
True. We went to Tim's late at night, and this is definitely drier than the Tim's one. Less icing, like you can barely, it's pretty much like translucent. You see that? I mean, it's pretty good. I think if you had like a mild donut craving, it would be satisfied. Larger donut craving, can't say it would. With that, two doughs out of 5 doughs. I think that's the rating for me.
All right.
But pretty small, easy to eat. It's all done. All right, let's hear from Neil.
All right, well, eagerly awaiting my donut right now. You getting ready?
We're all set, Neil.
It's all set. And
Oh, won't peep in.
a little bit of a sneak preview there. But
Hopefully we
I'm
didn't catch it.
I'm gonna go with the same thing over here, Josh. Same thing as Joshua. A nice classic sprinkled donut. And we're really just gonna get in here and see what's going on. All right, first bite.
Mega bite from Neil. Get that money shot.
Nice. Okay. So let's get down to business here. First things first. Josh is right. This dough is drier. As a doughboy, I like doughy donuts. It's just a bit too dry for my liking. I like a bit more chew in there. It's what's this? It's like this firm feeling in the middle.
That's a dry donut feeling, Neil. We've encountered our first dry
Yeah.
dough.
Yeah, so the weakest part of this donut, definitely the dough. But and as you can see over there, that layer of icing,
Pretty
basically
thin.
not even there. But despite that, you can still taste the icing. And honestly, the flavor of the icing, pretty solid.
That's
Like,
true.
The
That's true.
icing is pretty solid.
What do you think about the sprinkles, Neil? I forgot to say anything about the sprinkles. What do you think about the sprinkles?
After I just had a single sprinkle, tastes like nothing, like all sprinkles. But
Very cool. Get that it gets the texture on top.
But look, the texture, like if you press down on this, right? You see how you can kind of like press down on it and it bends with your finger? I think the frosting is higher quality than Tim's, but they don't put as much because sometimes you feel the Tim's frosting and it's like, you know, it just comes off in big flakes.
True.
You don't want your icing coming off like paint, right? You want it coming off like icing. And so, honestly, the icing is pretty solid. However, not much of it. And the dough really just brings it down a fair amount. But I am enjoying it. It's not a great donut, but it's not something I wouldn't eat. Honestly, I'm probably gonna go with 2.5 doughs out of 5. It's like, you know, a pretty standard donut.
0.5 higher. 0.5
Yeah,
higher.
0.5 higher. Like, I think it's a pretty solid donut, but like not that solid. Don't get too comfortable.
All right. Like I said earlier, that was only our first donut. We got another one on the way. We went for the jelly donut. Very interesting. We got the icing sugar on both sides. Hopefully that wasn't from anything else that was in there. Looking a bit more like a giant Timbit, honestly. With the jelly donut, another classic. The icing sugar's fallen off pretty well. Falling off a little bit like chunks, not really like sprinkled. We also got some leakage going on. You can see that?
Get right in that hole.
We got some leakage. So I can tell I'm gonna get to the jelly a lot quicker than I did with the Boston cream. But maybe that's a good thing, we'll see. Okay. The jelly was placed in the wrong spot. Not there, but here. That being said, the dough's actually a lot better. Maybe these were made more recently.
The hidden potential.
Really good. Actually, really good. Wow. Fresher dough. Good jelly. Good icing sugar. Despite the messy insertion of the jelly. I'm thinking 3.5 out of 5 donuts. That's the rating for me. Really good. Much stronger than that sprinkle donut. I'd recommend. Here, let's see. Wash it down with some of this iced coffee. Goes well with the coffee as well. Really good. You know what? 4 out of 5 donuts. I really like that.
A 4 out of 5, Joshua.
A pleasant surprise from McDonald's. Let's check in with Neil on his next donut.
I'm gonna start it off from a sip.
Cleanse the palate. Good idea. Good palate cleanse.
Delicious.
What do we got?
See how it's looking in there. Okay. So I'm looking at this already.
Neil went with the jelly donut, if you
Yeah.
can see.
And the first thing you see, look over here, look at that powder, and look over here.
That is kind of what it's supposed to be like, though.
I want powder all around, but that might just be
See, because
a little bit fell out in the packaging there.
I was confused because mine was all around.
And, my jelly seems to have been inserted on the side.
I see.
Like, better jelly insertion on my donut compared to Joshua's. My hole isn't dripping as much. I don't know why Joshua's hole is dripping.
Neil, I think that's another thing to note. Every donut is unique. And it's different. It's
Yeah,
like a
but-
snowflake.
Yeah, but you should always be looking for some sort of consistency,
True,
You're looking at
true.
the display, and when I'm paying the same dollar as somebody else, I want to be getting, a similar experience. And
Well put.
Let's go into this and see what kind of experience I'm in for.
Big old bites from Neil.
Okay. So, immediately, the dough, and compared to, its sprinkled brother, far superior. You can tell right away. If you look in here, you can move that dough around. It's more doughy. That's not falling apart. Like, I can press down and it stays.
Also, Neil, that jelly is in a perfect spot for yours.
Yeah, my jelly placement is also better. The jelly is sweet, but not overpowering. It's a good complement to the dough, I find. Pretty good. Breaks apart easy. Look. Nice break on the dough.
Nice.
Not too flaky, not a lot fell off.
And
You can tell
jelly
it's
on
not
each
too,
side.
Yep, not
Stay-
too dry. This donut has taken it to the next level. Strawberry taste. It's a bit artificial, but the sweetness level is good. The sweetness level is good. It's just that little bit of aftertaste where you can really just tell, yeah, that ain't like real jelly. That's just a bunch of food coloring and a lot of sugar. But overall, it's still pretty good and a huge step up from the sprinkled one. Overall, I'm gonna have to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah,
Nice.
3.5. So, a full step above the other donut. But I still don't think it's ready for the elites in the 4 range.
I got you.
It ain't there yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right.
All right. So, we had the donuts. Still sipping on our coffees here. Ice is melted, but to be considered when you're having a nice coffee. You can't really avoid that. Overall, disappointed on that first donut, that sprinkled. Pleasantly surprised by that jelly. Maybe that's because we were so disappointed by the dip, the sprinkle, that the jelly was a little bit elevated. Hard to tell in the moment, hindsight is 20/20, but overall, good coffee. Not a great first donut, really great second donut. I think I'm gonna give this one overall rating a 3.5 golden arches out of 5 golden arches. I think that's a good rating, Neil.
Yeah.
So that's it from me. Let's hear from you, Neil.
All right, so started off pretty strong with the iced coffees and ended finish with the jelly filled. But that middle part, it was just a huge downgrade and kind of undermined the whole experience. However, dollar drink days.
Oh, true, the value.
Dollar drink days. The donuts are small, but they aren't breaking the bank, right? Sometimes you just want something small. You don't want a full donut, right? And maybe if they were fresher, and maybe if you were just getting the jelly filled instead of the sprinkled, you might be in for a good time. And for $2.50, getting a coffee and a dough, that's pretty good value. But overall, it's just that maybe it's just the time of night. Maybe it's due to the specific circumstances today. But that sprinkled donut really just brought it down a little bit. And that's why, for me, it's just going to miss out on the 4 range. And I'm going to give it a 3.5 shitty high schools out of 5.
Tight.
But yeah, I think that wraps it up for tonight. Went to McDonald's, got a couple good eats, and yeah, that's really it. See you guys later in the next episode.